Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Well, here we are just about 3 weeks into a brand new year, and going to take a guess that there are some people that have given up on their New Year's resolutions. It just didn't happen for them. What happened there? We're going to talk about that. She is amazing in the insight that she gives all the time. And it's always a pleasure having her with us. She's a TEDx speaker, a life coach, EFT facilitator. Did I get that right? EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique? Yes, I did. And I just love having her along with us. Mehta joins us here on the program. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure connecting with you week after week.
Same. And I have taken some of the knowledge that I've gotten from you and shared it with many others. You're costing me Post-it notes. That's what you're doing. Because I just found another one there before of something you said last week, which I shared with others. Now, National Quitters Day has come and gone. That was, what was that, January 10th?
That is correct, yes.
What a day to have, just to mark a lot of people just kind of giving up on their resolutions. And also, I think it's that day or within a few days where people decide to get divorced.
Yeah.
What
a week that is, right? What is your why behind setting a New Year's resolution? We never ask ourselves that. We just kind of go on with, the masses of this pressure of, I got to set a New Year's resolution. But are you fully committed to your why? Why are you setting this goal? Is it because somebody told you so? Is it recommended by somebody like an expert, like a doctor or a specialist? Or is it because you innately feel like you want to make a change in your life?
Do you feel that it derails for a lot of us because we don't write the goals down? We just put it in our mind. Yeah, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to lose 10 pounds. All right, it's great. Pretty easy and somewhat attainable goal. However, if you didn't document it, it's my understanding it doesn't exist. If you didn't write it down, it's just a thought. It's not really a goal. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And some people even write it down. But are they actually visualizing themselves having that goal achieved? Are they actually feeling it inside and saying, you know what, I already have this. It's already here. It's been done. Like we're manifesting something. Or is it just something like an ether, like an idea? You're like, oh, I'll remember that. And next thing you know, we're in a catastrophic event like a fire or a hurricane or natural disaster or a loss in the family. And now we put ourselves on the back burner.
Is that okay, though?
It's okay, but how important is your New Year's resolution then?
I guess it's a balance.
It is.
Let's say you made these goals, resolutions, life changes. Is the life change strong enough to pivot you away realistically from your goal, or are you using that as an escape? Side note, that means it's time for a life coach. I'm just saying. Somebody shared this with me recently. The difference between a goal and a dream is a deadline. You ever hear that?
I have heard that before. Yeah, it's always a what by when. What is it, and by when do you want to accomplish it? So every goal always, in the way I've been trained, is what is it, by when do you want it achieved?
Yeah. Because if you don't, what's a dream? It would be great to have a new car, and then you leave it at that. But if you're more intentional, I'm going to get a new car. I'm going to work hard at it. I'm going to manifest it, whatever it is, by a certain date. I'm going to have that car by then. That's going to happen. That's my goal. I'm working on that. I'm going to work hard for it. Yeah. I never thought of it that way. And
then how specific is that goal, right? Is it just like 10 pounds off of my body weight? Is it 10 pounds off of muscle mass? Is it 10 pounds off of fat reduction? right? So the more specific you are, it's that car, right? Do you want a minivan? Do you want a sports car? Do you want a nice to have car? Like, what does that car look like? The more specific you are, the more you're able to attract it.
Well, now we just crossed the bridge into manifestation now, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
On goal setting, some other thoughts, and we talk about resolutions, but goals can be established at any time. How do we stick to them? What is the process for goal setting?
I think number one, I mean, a lot of us have heard the SMART goal: specific, measurable, attainable. I think it's reachable, I believe, and then is it time? Right? So I'm actually going to look this up real quick.
Well,
right? Is it realistic? So is it specific, measurable,
yep.
achievable, realistic, and is it timely?
What's the difference between achievable and realistic?
Well, achievable is, in my mind, it's like, can I lose 10 pounds in a month? Realistic is, I don't have a fast metabolism. That 10 pounds may be released in 2 months or 3 months.
Okay.
Right? I want to buy a new car in 2 months, but my credit score is like 500, for example. Will I be able to buy a brand new car with the payment that I want in 2 months? I don't know, right? So what other factors are associated with your goal? Is it your bank account? Is it your credit score? Is it your metabolism? Is it, your diet plan? If you've been drinking every single day, I'm thinking of my alcoholic drinks or even soda, can you lose 10 pounds by releasing that off your schedule? Right? So it's more about being specific of what is it that you're putting inside your body? What are the outside factors that are associated with your goal? If you know how a gym membership, are you going to watch the YouTube videos and then watch the performer in front of you, or are you actually going to do the exercise that the performer is telling you to do?
This is the detail that we talk about, and that's why there's no chance in anywhere that you can get it done unless you write it down.
Write it down and then know your why behind it, right? Ask yourself the feeling behind this goal and then who's telling you this goal. Because sometimes we think that we have a goal because somebody in our influence told us, whether it be a parent, whether it be a sibling, whether it be a doctor. But like, how valuable is that advice? Is that advice in alignment with what you want to do? Is it congruent with what you want to achieve? Because if it's not, you're going to forget about it.
It just seems that we're back to manifestation again because you have to feel it.
Right.
When you're creating a goal, is it really manifesting something?
Well, with work that I've been doing in my own personal life, I've had goals like being a TEDx speaker. And I thought I was going to be a TEDx speaker in 2030, the year 2030. And mind you, this was in 2019. And I thought I had to be someone like a Brené Brown or a Simon Sinek who has done something in their life to get on a TEDx stage. I did not know that any person who has an idea worth sharing is applicable to be on that stage. And when I was at a seminar and I shared my story of this is my why of why I became a life coach. I really want to help people make better choices in their life. And as I finished sharing, the facilitator said, "Where do you hear this message?" Multiple people, and I'm going to tell maybe 5 or 7 people said out of a room of 30, she belongs on a TEDx stage, TED Talk, TEDx Talk, TED Talk. That was being planted. And in my mind, okay, yeah, totally. 20, 30, 11 years from now, a decade from now, I can totally do something if I continue on this path. Did not realize within a year from that date, I had gotten accepted to be a TEDx speaker.
Wow. How did I get it? We never really talked about that in detail.
No.
When you got the word that you were tagged to be a TEDx speaker, describe the feeling.
So it's April of 2019, and I'm at the seminar, and it was a seminar I did not want to attend at all. I was like, why do I need another seminar in my life? Considering the 2 years prior, I was 13 seminars in 12 months. So I was a seminar junkie. I was like, why another one? And why specifically you? Because somebody had reached out to me on Facebook saying, you need to be at my seminar. And I'm like, no, I don't. But after a few conversations, I was like, you know what? I'll show up. I joined her program. It was like $2,400 for a 6-month program. And at that time of the seminar, I told her, I was like, look, you're like the 7th coach I've hired already. Why do I need you again? She goes, Michelle, you have all the tools, but you don't have the bridge to implement that or execute that. I'm going to build that bridge for you. And I was like, okay, fine, done. So I got convinced. I signed up for the program. And then in November, so this program is now ended. 6 months are over. In November, I joined a speaker training program. This is a program on how to be a speaker on stage, sell from the stage. So that coach said, you know what? I want to be a TEDx speaker. I'm going to be working with a coach that's going to help me get on a TEDx stage. Anybody that's interested in that, shoot me a message. Oh, I was like, oh yeah, the TEDx thing happened like a few months ago. Maybe I should just message. Who knows? I did. January, we get more details about the program, how much it is, da-da-da. Of course, I'm dating a guy at that time. And the man says, Michelle, you do not need any more programs. You need to cancel this investment. Okay, I'll think about it. So I postponed the investment. It was like $5,000 to learn from this TEDx coach. If you ever want to get to a goal faster, hire somebody on your team, a coach, mentor, counselor. They will propel your journey. Like I'll tell you in a second. So I canceled the coach. I was like, okay, fine. I'll take your advice because you matter to me at the moment. Now it's April and the guy's out of my life because I've kicked him out for various reasons. He was not in alignment with my values. And so I rejoined that coaching program. And I said, okay, I will, I have a couple things that need to be finished. So let me finish that and then I'll join this TEDx program. I joined. I'm now 8 weeks into the program. It's time for me to apply based on their modules. I applied to 5 places. Of course, what year it was? 2020. What happened in 2020? The whole world shut down, right? Global pandemic, COVID-19. So I took my chances, whatever, I'll apply. Out of the 5, 3 of them responded, 2 of them never did. 2 of them said, we're not doing anything right now because we don't know where our world is. 1 said, let's have a conversation. I hopped on a Zoom conversation. I shared them my idea of the adversity quotient, how I want to help teenagers reduce anxiety, depression, and suicide ideation. And I really want to help them, empower them, and be the bright sunlight that they are, and they are our future. And that was the end of my pitch. 2 weeks later, I follow up with them and I say, hey, just wanted to see, what's the next steps. So I didn't heard anything. In the meantime, another classmate of mine in this program was applying to the same place, and he had like 8 rounds of interviews, and I only had 1. So I thought, okay, automatically I'm getting rejected. Instead, I got a congratulations email. You have been accepted on our platform. And I'm asking myself, I had 1 interview. My counterpart, my classmate, had 8 interviews with the same group of people. What in the flying world? Steve, I read that email like 3 times, over and over again. And I fell to the ground and I was hysterically crying because I had this goal decided a year ago. It was going to happen in 2030. And here, within a year later, I got the congratulations email.
Wow.
And at the same time, my coaching clients that I was coaching at that time canceled their contract with me. So I was no longer a coach now. Where am I going to find my next set of clients?
Well, hold on now. You weren't a coach because a client canceled. That doesn't mean you weren't a coach at that moment.
Well, I wasn't a coach at that time because you're only a coach if you have clients. You're not a coach if you don't have clients. So in order for me to be a coach, I had to have a client. And my group of clients all canceled because of the pandemic. They're like, we don't need you anymore.
Yeah.
That door closed like a week before the congratulations email. So then the question is, Michelle, how did you present? It took me 7 months to present. Why? Because we couldn't figure out if it was going to be in person, if it was a hybrid, if it was going to be virtual, only online. And because it was at the university that I graduated from, full circle, I had graduated in 2011. I never went back since that. And it was the same university that gave me the congratulations email.
Wow. Wow. What a journey. And you never know how things are going to go, what's going to happen, especially with you dating that guy. If you didn't break up with him, you probably wouldn't have re-engaged in that program.
Probably not.
Wow.
So sometimes
I detected
we have people.
he was jealous of you.
Oh, 100%. Oh, 100%. And, it's that intuition that we've talked about over and over again, trusting myself and knowing that I deserve more. It's putting that oxygen mask on you first, like they say in the airplane. It's about honoring what you want. It's about honoring your why. And I remember telling my parents, like, oh, I just got accepted as a TEDx speaker. And in their mind, they couldn't differentiate between a TEDx speaker and a TED speaker. And I was like, it's the same thing. TEDx just means it's locally organized by local people. TED just means it goes to Fortune 500 company and they do a talk for their employees only. Simon Sinek, Brené Brown have done TEDx talks that have gotten them multi-million views. I think they're at the billions now. So don't let yourself shy short because your goal is so outrageous. Because my TEDx journey, even me being an author, a coach, has been so far-fetched in my own community that I still get questions like, you're doing what? What do you, like, raised eyebrows, confusion? And I just continue to stay on my path, the tenacity that comes in with it, the resilience that comes in with it. And that's why resolutions fail, because they're not connected to their why. They're not connected to their what. They're not connected to their feelings when they set that word of the year, when they set that goal. So really know thyself. Know thyself.
You said the F word, and that's feelings. And I believe that's the why, but that's the game changer in whether it's going to work or not. Because you could say, yeah, I'm going to the gym, I'm going to lose, 10 pounds, whatever. Okay, check that box. But if you're not feeling it, if you're not saying, I need to lose weight for this reason, I need this, I'm going to do this. If you're just showing up, you're just showing up. And unfortunately, as we said, National Quitters Day, after a while, you're not showing up anymore.
Well, you're not showing up. And then we go into that self-beat up mode, right? I'm such a failure. I'm a loser. I don't have the confidence. I don't deserve this. Where it's a power of one. Shift it and say, you know what? I failed. I fell off the bandwagon. I fell off the wagon because I was not motivated for XYZ reasons. And today, I start. Don't wait for tomorrow. Start today. And it does not matter what time you start. Just by setting the intention, you can be a winner.
Is it connected or loosely connected, having a goal, resolution, whatever we want to label it as?
Yeah.
Is it a habit?
Totally is. And I discovered that a few years ago as well, is being intentional with my day. 3 things that I'm going to accomplish. Just 3. Whether it be checking an email, for example, responding to an email that I've been procrastinating on, following up on something. Could be as I'm going to the gym. I'm going to go for a walk. And before my head hits the pillow, and I look back and I say, you know what? I set out to do these things and I've fully accomplished it. And the things that I got put on the wayside, ask yourself why it didn't happen.
That's an interesting thought. It's so obvious, but instead of saying, yeah, I was going to the gym, it's not happening. Why? What went wrong? I don't even want to use the word wrong, but what refocused your goal? What was it? Like, go on a fact-finding mission and analyze what went down there.
Was it because your body was hurting that you didn't take yourself to the gym? Was it because you didn't want to aggravate the pain that was already there? Was it just that you're not emotionally strong enough because of the things that are happening around you and your family and your circumstances, right? And then just say, you know what? Acknowledge your body, acknowledge yourself, acknowledge your heart, acknowledge the parts that are working, and also acknowledge the parts that are also in pain. And just say, you know what? Thank you for those signals. I'm glad I took a rest. Tomorrow I will start different.
Give yourself some grace too.
Yeah. You know what? Let's take this rest of the month and give ourselves the grace. If you quit on your resolutions, just say, you know what? Maybe it wasn't strong enough. Or maybe it was so easy, it didn't need to be accomplished. And just spin it in a positive way.
Or maybe I didn't think it out enough. And now that I'm going to use some of the things that we're talking about today, some of the tools, techniques, maybe you might realize that, out of SMART, SMART, maybe there's one there that doesn't really fit. And I'm not taking anything away from anybody, but there's always a reason for something. That something happens, cause and effect. There's a reason. So maybe it wasn't attainable. Maybe the timing wasn't right. Whatever it might be, but analyze it instead of just feel defeated and just say, whatever. I don't have time for the gym. It's not me. It's not going to work. If you make a habit, I believe even that type of goal, if you don't go, you feel like you've cheated yourself.
Exactly. And then build an accountability team. Tell your best friend, tell your family, tell something that you love and say, hey, I've committed to myself to go to the gym X amount a week. Can you confirm that I'm going? Do you want to come on the journey with me? Let me let you work out. Let's change your diet plan together. Get more people involved in your goal. It'll make it a lot easier to achieve. And Steve, you said cause and effect. In the neuro-linguistic programming world, cause means you are the leader of your life. You are the sole person responsible for every action you take. And then the effect of it is blaming it on other people and other circumstances.
Wow. I never looked at it that way. I don't know why I like the lights blinking. It's bizarre. I never looked at it that way, that you're blaming other people.
Yeah.
And we all do that.
Exactly. So remember, if it's your goal, who's responsible?
Yeah.
Right? If it's your resolution, who's responsible?
You can't blame others. Again, life does happen. Some things may come up. You need to be real with yourself to say, yeah, you know what? That needed attention. I have to press the pause button on my goal.
Exactly.
You'll know.
And mental health is way more important than our physical health. And sometimes we forget that.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that. And I'm glad we can say the two words mental health and feel good about it these days.
Exactly, right? I didn't work out this whole year because of my mental health. Too exhausted, feeling overwhelmed, feeling depleted because I am close to the fires and it's affected me. And, not in the way that like physical space, but emotionally, I know somebody that has lost their home, their business, and that degree of separation is getting closer and closer with more conversation that I'm having. And so it's okay if I took that time to support somebody else versus in my body. And it's a time for my self-recovery so I can come back stronger.
I love your transparency.
Oh, anytime.
It really is cool. Your website is your name. Share.
MichelleMehta.com, MichelleMehta. Find me on all things social at I am Michelle Mehta. And you know what? Let's have that conversation. Let's dig deeper because I'm willing to give a gift of my time to all the beautiful listeners out there, to you, to letting you know you're not alone on this journey.
You're not. And I'm going to make that A in SMART and the SMART goals, accountability. And that's you. You can't, nobody can do it alone. And even friends and family, they're okay, but they're going to be soft. They're going to tell you what you want to hear, not what you need to hear. And in a loving, nurturing way, that's what you do. Always great talking with you, Michelle. Thanks for being here today.
You. And remember, your family is the fuel to get to your goal faster.
Family doesn't have to be blood either.
Doesn't have to be blood either.
Yeah.
Chosen family, regular family, it does not matter. But that is the fuel to get to your goal faster. Love is it. What I believe.
Thank you so much. We'll talk soon, okay?
Thank you so much. Love you. Take care.
Love you too. We'll be right back.
Bye.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is...
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes two. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.